Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how one city is treating individuals who are substance users and how they're applying or not applying the criminal justice system to these individuals. I'll send you a link. I'll post the link to the article in the video. I want to make it really clear. But these videos have nothing to do with politics, okay? So whether you agree with this particular mayor or this particular state, truthfully, I don't care. What I care about is making the point to you that is discussed in this article, which is they're apparently in Seattle, they're now upset with the mayor. Apparently there is some type of outcry about a policy which some individuals are claiming is now being put out there, which is that they don't want to prosecute people who are using drugs. Okay. Now, as some of you will know, I was a prosecutor back in the mid-90s, and the mandate in Florida, even today, as it was back in the 90s, is to punish first and rehabilitate second. And you can go and read that for yourself in the rules of procedure. Now, back in the 90s, we didn't have what I call diversionary courts. We didn't have the courts we have today, like drug court, mental health court, veterans court. The idea of these courts is that when we get a specific individual who's been charged with a specific crime, we want to get them the help they need so that we can divert them, right? Diversionary court, divert them into treatment and then out of the system. The idea being we get them help and hope they don't come back again. I mean, that's the goal here. But in the 90s, we didn't have those. And if you kept coming back, we just eventually locked you up for as long as we could because there was no alternative. And so this is what the article talks about. But there's more to this article than I think is discussed. And that is the idea that we have the state deciding whether or not to actually step in and give individuals with a behavioral health issue an opportunity at treatment. And as I've said before, when you have a loved one who has been sick for a long time, substance use, mental illness, there's a couple of options available. Number one, you can do nothing. And like any disease, it will get worse. It will destroy the host and it will destroy your family. What am I talking about? I'm telling you that it may well kill them. And I don't mean to be blunt, but if you've watched any of my other videos, I simply refuse to sugarcoat this stuff for you. You look on the top of my website. Our motto is to save families. If I don't tell you the truth and tell you what it's going to take to save your family, then shame on me. But I'm always going to tell you the truth, at risk of offending you. And I apologize. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I want to tell you how it really works in the real world. And so if you don't do anything, things will just continue to get worse. Or you could say, I'm not dealing with this, goodbye. Or you could let the state do it. What do I mean by that? Well, this is an example, right? The state potentially stepping in through the criminal justice system, these specialty courts that I talked about. You sort of get what you pay for. I can't tell you you're going to get the greatest treatment in the world, but it is an option. But why do you want the state potentially being involved in your life, in your loved one's life? And if the state's involved, particularly when it's the criminal justice system, there's always an opportunity, for lack of a better word, that they may end up in jail or in prison. And if you don't think there's good drugs in jail or in prison, then I'm here to tell you there is. And I spent quite a bit of time in jails and prisons over the years to tell you there's drugs in our prison system. So we really do not want the state intervening. Now, the state can also intervene through the mental health system. What does that mean? It means the state can intervene either through the Baker Act process, and believe it or not, even through the Marchman Act process. But again, we're dealing with state intervention, the state terminating the rights of the individual, terminating the rights of the family, so that you're basically left out in the cold. You have no input to this thing. You don't want the state doing that. The other option is we say we're not going to wait for the state. We're not going to wait for something tragic to happen. We're going to make the commitment to try and save our loved one. That means that we want to empower you, the family, mom and dad, the spouse, the sibling, whoever it happens to be. We want to get you the authority to make the decision that your loved one simply cannot make. They cannot make that decision to save themselves. If they could, they would. Their brain has been kidnapped. Okay, they're living on a different planet, a different universe. They're listening to AM and you're on FM. I mean, you get the picture. Somebody has to make the decision to save them. And so, this article is sort of talking about whether or not the state should or should not step in. I don't want the state in my life. I don't want the state telling me how to take care of my family. But if you don't take care of this, if something tragic does not happen, which is right, we don't want anybody dying, then they'll do it for you. And I promise you, you won't like the results of that. I've never seen anybody really get that much better when it comes to state treatment. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I want you guys to make the decision. I want you guys to have that authority because you know this person best. You love them, you care about them, you raise them, and I want you to be able to make the decision. So I'll post a link to the article. If you have any questions or comments, post them. I read all of them. In fact, I challenge you to post a comment or ask a question because I want to have more interaction with the folks that watch these videos. If you like what I have to say, I'd love a thumbs up. And if you could, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.